Hey, hey, it is Sunday night, so you know what that means. This is time for Learning with Lynn. So I'm Lynn Huber.
And I'm Richard.
And this is Richard. I want to welcome you out tonight, Sunday night. Tonight we're going to talk about prospecting on social media. So if you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so we know you were here. I'm going to move some things around. Hold on one second. Let me see. And I will share my screen. There we go. So if you're here, be sure to tell me that you're here so I can see you. There we go. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. You're the first one. Welcome. So this is my blog. This is onlinebeautybiz.com. And this is my blog that I wrote for my team. And I continue to write 2 blog posts a week, basically, trainings. But it's for everybody who sells Avon. I figure a rising tide lifts all ships. And so if I can teach you something or if I can help you with something, you are more than welcome here. And so my blog has all kinds of information to help you from all different kinds of selling, how to sell, how to build your business. If you're new to Avon, you'll want to click at Getting Started up here at the top. That takes you through how do I get paid, how much do I get paid, how do I know if I got an online order, where do I find it, all of the little details as far as getting started with Avon. And then here's my blog. On the left-hand side, you'll see the blog. There's about 6 posts here. On the right-hand side, this is called the sidebar. The first part is you can sign up here to receive emails from me if you want to receive them. And then underneath that is a search. And so if you want to know how to do something, you can literally search for anything in here. Just type it in, hit enter. Or there's categories. So like, Avon parties, business building, follow-up, fundraising, anything that you want help with. If you click on these categories, any post that's tagged with those categories will come up. Hi, Anitra. Good to see you. So this is what it looks like on a computer. If you're on a phone, you're just going to see this part right here, the left side, which is the main part. And then the sidebar moves underneath the main part. And so just scroll, there's like 6 or 7 posts, and scroll down to the bottom and you'll see this part where you can search in the categories and all that. So anyway, that's my blog. That's onlinebeautybiz.com. Today we're going to talk about this post right here, prospecting on social media for your Avon business. So in today's world, social media is the main source for the latest news and the main way that people stay connected, right? This is why prospecting on social media is a great way to help build your Avon business. In fact, your next best networking and prospecting event is very likely right at your fingertips, right here with social media networking. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. So before we get into that, though, we're going to talk about the basics. Growing your Avon business is pretty simple. There's really only 4 steps. Number 1, prospecting for new customers and recruits. Number 2, getting a brochure to every customer, every campaign. Number 3, follow up with every customer, every campaign. Number 4, take the order, submit it to Avon, deliver, or they go to your online store, right? And then just rinse and repeat. And so if you're brand new, we ask you to create a list of everyone you know, and this is for your own purpose. Nobody's going to see it. Is what you do with that is up to you, right? So you don't have to worry about who you put on the list. Just get everybody out of your head and get them on paper, because once you get them out of your head, that helps you remember more people. And so prospecting for you is going through your list, and maybe you might call or text or email or whatever, like the first person on your list, and say, hey, I just started my Avon business. I'm really excited. Would you be interested in seeing a brochure, right? And so if they say yes, then now they become a prospect. And then you're going to follow up through the whole system with them now, because if they say yes, now they're going to be on you're going to add them to your prospecting system, and you're going to get a brochure to them. You're going to follow up. You're going to hopefully take the order someday. They might not order right away. They might never order, but it's hard to say, right? The idea is you just do these steps. If you're not brand new, you need to constantly be adding people to that list. That list is a living, breathing document. You'll be crossing people off. You'll be adding people. I'm in 20 years in Avon, and I'm still adding to my list, because you always have to. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a doctor or a dentist or a college or a nail tech or a hairdresser, you always have to be adding to your list, because if you don't, your business is it's just going to fall apart, because people die, they move, they find somebody else they like, whatever, but you're going to lose people. It's called attrition, and you need to always be bringing in new people. Always. It's always in the new. So now you're going to get a brochure to them every campaign, whether it's paper or digital. That's up to you, whether you're going to use paper brochures or you're going to text them a digital brochure. And we teach a system to do that so that you get out of your head and you just do it, right? So you've added them to your system. Now you're going to text them a brochure every campaign. And then you're going to follow up with every customer you gave a brochure to every campaign. Again, I want you out of your head. This is not hey, I've given her 6 brochures and she hasn't placed an order. I don't want to bug her. That's not what this is about. Your job is to get the brochure to her. It's her job to decide if she wants to buy from you. Right? If she doesn't want brochures anymore, she'll tell you. If she doesn't tell you, then you just assume she wants brochures and you just keep going. Your task is to do these 4 things. You're going to follow up. That's your job. So if you use our system, then that follow-up becomes so much easier because you're just doing the task. We teach to mail our brochures. We mail brochures using Campaign Mailer. We use Project Broadcast to text our brochures if our customers are on a text list. And then follow-up, the majority of our follow-up's done by text, and we use Project Broadcast, and it's literally like click, send this follow-up to this list, and schedule it for this time, done. Takes 1 minute, right? So it makes it really easy. And then you're just going to take the orders, right? You've done all the things. You've got the brochure to them. You've opened your store by getting the brochure to them, and then you're following up with them because everybody's busy. Nobody has time. We're all doing 20 things at once, and I promise you, people are going to be looking at your brochure on the toilet. And I know that might sound gross, and I'm sorry, but they are. It's just reality. Or maybe in bed late at night. But either way, they can't call you with an order at that time. So they look and they maybe turn the pages down. They know what they want, and they put it down, and they forget about it. And if you don't follow up, you've lost that order. But if you follow up, you'll get it. And so that's really your job, is just to get a brochure and follow up with everybody, and that's really what it comes down to. So we have a daily 8 system that will help you be more consistent. Hi, Rose. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So we have this daily 8 system. So instead of working 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week like you would in a job, our goal is to capture 8 points a day, 5 days a week for a total of 40 points a week. So if you click here, print this sheet and use it to track your weekly points, that pulls up this right here. And this is like 9 pages. You can print the whole thing off once, but you really only need page 2. The other pages explain how to do the things. It explains how to take those steps and what to do. But this page, you're just going to put the week of, like whatever, like today's date or Monday's date, however you do that. Days of the week, know ahead of time when you're going to work. Schedule it out. You're going to work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or you're going to work Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, whatever it is, you need to know what you're going to do, right? So put those up there, and then you're going to get points. So prospecting for customers. So if you give out a brochure to somebody, you meet somebody in the grocery store or whatever, and you say, hey, would you like an Avon brochure? And if they say yes, and you get their contact information, that's a point. Okay. If you're brand new and you're working through your contact list and you text somebody, you text your best friend, hey, I just started selling Avon. Would you like to see a brochure? And they say yes, that's a point. Okay, now you're going to add them to your system so that they will start getting all the follow-ups. Anitra says, I'm working on my campaign mailer list now. Yeah, see, I work on mine every day. So every time I add a customer, I add them immediately to campaign mailer. Or if I, for some reason, remove a customer, I remove them immediately from campaign mailer. So when it comes time to place my order, when it comes time for me to send my brochures, they're already ready to go. I just click go, right? I just changed the campaign number on my campaign mailer and the dates that the brochure is effective. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you. Kristen says, Daily 8 totally works. It really helps me get organized. Thank you, Kristen. It does work. It really does. And it's not like we're asking you to do a lot, right? I talked about 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week to get paid in a real job. You can get 8 points a day way quicker than 8 hours. You could do this a whole lot quicker. If you're out prospecting for customers and recruits, you could literally get 3, 4, 5, 6 names, which means 5, 6 points or even 10 points in an hour if you're serious and you're out there focused and doing it. So were you going to say something?
No, I'm just... it's just great to have the list because it gets you outgoing. Well, if you usually once you get started, you can't stop. Usually it's kind of addicting. You get out there and all of a sudden you start having successes and boom, the next thing you know, an hour's gone by, and you've really helped grow your business.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So then we've done the follow-up 2 to 3 days after meeting them. That means you met them at Walmart or whatever, the grocery store. You went through the cashier. You're paying for your groceries, and maybe you say something to the cashier, the checker. Hey, I sell Avon. I have this really cool digital brochure that you can literally flip through on your phone. It's really cool. Would you like to see it? And you get their name and you put them in your phone and you put their phone number in and you text them the brochure right then, right? So there you go. You just got you got a point for getting her contact information. But now 2 to 3 days later, you're going to text her again and say, hey, remember me? I met you at, I came through your checkout line and I gave you that digital brochure. Is there anything I can help you with? It's really simple. You don't have to ask them to buy anything, nothing like that. Just, hey, I'm just checking in to see if there's anything I can do for you. Now they're going to go on your regular follow-up list, right? So they're going to get a brochure every campaign. They're going to get a follow-up every campaign, and we do systems for that, right? So get a brochure to every customer. We use Campaign Mailer for that, or we use Project Broadcast if it's a brochure in the mail, if it's a text. Now, I will tell you, I use Project Broadcast for every single brochure that goes out in the mail. If my neighbor wants a brochure, I still mail it to her. I know she lives next door, but I do not want to have to go through every week at every campaign and go, oh, I didn't get a brochure. Did I get one to her? Did I not? If it's in Campaign Mailer, I just know that she's getting it. Also, I know some reps wait and see who ordered before and so they might put the brochure in the orders. And then they would take them off Campaign Mailer and not mail them one. You know what? To me, that takes too much time. That's slowing you down. And I don't want to have to hassle with who got one, who didn't, who do I have to add back to Campaign Mailer, who do I have to take off. They're in Campaign Mailer. When we deliver their order, we put a book in their order. So now they have 2 books. But Richard always tell them, hey, if you have an extra book, give it to somebody, give it to your neighbor, whatever. Put it in your laundry room, whatever. And we picked up orders that way too. So we mail our brochures or we text them. Okay, so then follow-up text, I give you 1 point for each of those because if mailing or texting your brochures literally takes a minute, so it's 1 point. If you are driving around town delivering brochures, or if you're manually texting every single person individually, then give yourself more points. Give yourself maybe a point for every hour. We'll go back to the 8 hours a day, right? 8 points for 8 hours a day. Go back to that maybe. Maybe if for every hour you're working, give yourself those points. Or every half hour. Well, it's up to you. It's your business, right? I'm not going to judge you on that. So then the follow-up text, like I said, we schedule those on Project Broadcast. And so that just takes a minute to do. So I give you 1 point. Then you're going to place your order. Yes, you get a point for placing your order because that's what Avon reps do, is they place orders, right? And then a point for sorting and delivering your orders. If you got a big order and it's taking you time, maybe it takes you 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours to sort it. Give yourself plenty of points for doing that. It's not just one. Okay, so again, then there's passive prospecting, putting out brochures door to door, various businesses. We just give you 1 point for that because it's passive. You're not actively building your business. The difference, and we're going to talk about this some more when we get into the social media, but active prospecting is getting a name and a number and being able to follow up because you're actively able to follow up with them. You're actively able to pursue your business. Passive is putting something out there and hope they call you. You don't have any way to follow up because you don't know who they are, right? So you only get 1 point for that, even if it takes you an hour or 2 because it's passive. Same thing. Passive prospecting, scheduling posts on social media will give you an hour. You could give yourself a 1 point. I mean, you can give yourself a point for every hour if you wanted to, if you're spending that much time on it. But again, it's passive, so it's not every post or not every person because you can't follow up with that. So anyway, go down through this, and all of these things you get points for. The key is, as much as possible, spend your time in the first half of this because those are active building your business. Everything on this list is important. Even down below, there's business training on Avon U and personal development. Those are important too, but they're not money-making activities. They're not actively growing your business, talking to people. So do those things because they're important, but get the bulk of your points in the top half of this. Okay, so this is our daily 8. Then you can click here to download it. Then we have a daily 8 challenge. We want to recognize you. We want to support you. And it doesn't matter if you're on my team or not. Everyone is welcome. So you can click on there. to log your weekly numbers. That takes you to this form, and it's just your information, who you are, what campaign we're in, how many points did you earn this week, what were your wins this week, what were you proud of, what did you not do so well, and how can you do better next time. Those are there for you. If you take the 1 or 2 minutes it takes to think about, wow, what did I do really well, then you already know that you want to do that again, right? Or if you think about what did you not do so well and you come up with how you can do better next time, you already know how to do better next time. So this is for you. This is not me judging you. I will not judge you at all. That's not what I'm doing this for. I might recognize you if you do something fantastic. I might recognize you in a group. If you post something in here that you struggled with, and maybe I have information that might be helpful for you, I might send you an email and say, hey, here's a post that I wrote about that, or here's something that will help you. But it's not about judgment. How many points you get is up to you. How big you want to build your business, how much effort you want to put into your business is up to you. This is just a way to keep you accountable. And I'm here to support you whether you're on my team or not. So that's open for everybody. And then be sure to join our Online Beauty Biz Facebook group. I imagine most of you are in it already. This is our Online Beauty Biz Facebook group, so be sure to be a member of that because that's where we'll recognize you. And then here's a post, learn more about automating your follow-ups. So that takes you through what I was talking about, the campaign mailer, about mailing brochures and about texting reminder or follow-ups. I also, for those little old ladies I don't have cell phones for that are just landlines, I also pre-record a message and I send that out. That's my reminder for them. It's all in here. There's a video about it and it's all in here. So dial my calls is how I do the pre-recorded message for the landlines. And then texting, project broadcast. And this is my whole system. And you guys, this system makes all the difference in the world. I cannot tell you how much a system can do for your business. Because when you systemize it, you get all of the grunt work done. You get brochures delivered, you get follow-ups done, reminders, you get all of that done so you can focus on building your business. And it literally takes you, once you have it set up, less than 5 minutes a campaign to do these things. I mean, less than 5 minutes a campaign, and every one of your customers has a brochure and every one of them gets a follow-up. Now you can grow your business. Now you can talk to more people, or hell, if you want to, you can be home with your kids. I mean, whatever that is for you, but it frees up time and it makes sure that your business keeps moving forward. So automating your follow-ups is huge.
Yeah, that's the key right there, is that when you do that, when you automate your business, then when life happens, which happens to all of us, and your day gets interrupted, your business keeps going. And then you can fill in the spots in 5 or 10 minute increments during the day as you're taking care of a family emergency or whatever. But right. Your business keeps growing, and that's the important part.
Right, because then you can, you've already done all your follow-ups, everything's done, everything's set, and now, I don't know, the school calls you, your daughter's gotten a fight or whatever, and you have to drop everything and go to the school. Well, now you're dealing with that, but maybe there's a 5-minute increment where you can talk to the office lady and offer her a brochure. See, now you can grow your business. But none of that affected your business because your business is running smoothly already, right? So it's huge. So today, let's talk about prospecting. Hi, Sandy. She said, hey, again. So I don't know, maybe you didn't hear me, but good to see you here. So today we're talking about prospecting on social media. So remember I said there's active and passive. Well, so social media, there's 2 ways to build on social media, and one is not wrong and one is not right. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you're looking for. So you can build rapport on social media. You can I do a lot of that, right? I do a lot of my Facebook Lives. That's about getting me out there without being spammy. It's just about doing a live instead of buy my products. I'm talking about this is what this product does, and it's information for you if you want it. I also do my little 30-second videos now, which are personal development, and that's passive prospecting. So that is, somebody might see your post and they might like it and they might be impressed, or maybe they might see a couple of your posts over time and they go, wow, she's really got it together. I'm going to follow her. And then eventually she'll maybe come into your fold, right? Or maybe they'll join your business, or maybe they'll buy from you. That's passive prospecting. Sandy has it down. She's excellent at this. She does a lot of the same kinds of things. She posts beauty tips and cosmetics tips, and she talks about her own life, and she's building rapport around her, and that's a great way to build your business on social media. So what we're going to talk about today is more active. This is where you take the bull by the horn and you are deliberately working to grow your business, specifically person by person, rather than just putting it out and hoping somebody responds. Like I said, both are good. They're both just two different ways to do it. But what we're going to talk about today is the active part. So when most trainers talk about prospecting on social media, they focus on building rapport. And that's all true because it's really important to build relationships, especially on social media. But if you're actually prospecting for your business, sometimes that can feel a little shady. You're friending them on Facebook and you're working to build rapport just to ultimately market to them. And I'm talking about if you reach out to somebody. So like if you Facebook message somebody and it feels like you're buttering them up, right? You Facebook message somebody and you go, that you don't know, and you go, oh yeah, I see you have a beautiful family, and you start like trying to build rapport. That just feels slimy. It feels to me like I'm just out to get something, right? When I'm doing it. And the fact is, I get a lot of people that do that to me, and I immediately, it's like, what do you want? What is it you want? If you're trying to prospect me, forget it, right? And so that's different though than the actual just posting on social media, right? I'm just talking about if you're sending messages and you're targeting people and talking to them. So of course you want to continue to build rapport, but what I'm going to teach you is a direct approach for working with cold market. This is for people you don't know. And this comes from a training from Ray Higdon. I did this training with him. Him and Jessica are masters at this. And so a lot of this, the scripts that I'm going to give you are Ray and Jessica's. So let's see. Anitra says, since my girls' school requires 25 hours of volunteer time, doing more automation for me will be best. I also need to be more active on my social media. Yeah, so you need to get those systems set up and use those systems. They're going to make a big difference for you. Okay, so if you are actively reaching out and going after people on social media to prospect, you want to be straightforward and you want to get to the point. But we're also not looking to spam everyone. And so first, let's talk about what spam is. So spam is assuming that you know what your prospect wants or is interested in without them telling you. So if you ask them to join your team or buy your product before your prospect has shown any interest, that's spam. So if you reach out to them, you just send them a message and say, can I send you a brochure? That's spam. Because they haven't asked for one, they haven't indicated they were interested, So what we're going to teach you is using a more direct approach, but your goal is going to be to find out what their interest level is and whether you have something to offer them that would be beneficial. So for example, if a single guy walks up to a bar in a hotel and says, hey, I've got a room upstairs, he's being spammy, right? He knows nothing about that girl or if she's even interested. He's just assuming that she wants him. And it might work. I don't know. There might be girls sitting there waiting for that, but if so, he just got lucky. But instead, if he walks up to the girl in the hotel bar and says, hey, are you here with anyone? Can I buy you a drink? That's not spam. That's finding out her level of interest. So it's a little different, right? And so even a married woman probably wouldn't be offended by that. She might say no thanks, but she probably wouldn't be offended, right? Because you didn't automatically assume that she's going to go up to my room with me, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope you can understand the difference between spam. But spam is when you assume the position of your prospect without them telling you or giving you any evidence to that fact. And so if you just assume that they want to join your team or assume that they want to buy from you, then that's spam. And I get private messages from people all the time. Oh my gosh, every day, 20 or 30 of them that say, hey, come to my Facebook party. Here's a link. I'm not interested in their product. I never indicated I was interested in their product. Maybe they should have started off with, hey, I do this. Do you have any interest in it? Right? But by just throwing a link at me, that's spam. And so you want to to prospect on social media, you want to find your audience, right? So search for relevant conversations about your products or your industry or common interests. Join Facebook groups about things you love. Maybe you're into Jeeps or dogs or gardening or whatever it is that you're into. Anitra, she has her blind group that I'm sure she already talks to. But participate in those groups and provide value. You're not talking about Avon. You're in those groups and you're talking about Jeeps or dogs or gardening or whatever it is that you're in that group to talk about, right? Get involved in relevant conversations where you can offer helpful answers and advice, not product or service solutions. So this is where you build relationships. This is where you're meeting people. This is where you're kind of finding out if there is an interest, right? You know, search for topics. Maybe it's not even a group. Maybe somebody posts about a movie that's one of your favorite movies in the world. Now you have something in common that you can message them about. Or what hobbies do you have? Or what gurus do you follow? You know, if you're a fan of, like, okay, Rachel Ray, say you're into cooking. She's cooking, right? Mm-hmm. You're into cooking and you're into Rachel Ray, and maybe you see other people that are into her, right? Or maybe it's scuba diving or snorkeling or nurses or whatever it is that you might have in common, and then reach out to those people, because now you have something in common with them. So don't overcomplicate it. Just look for people that you can reach out to. And then what you're going to do is you're going to send them a private message. So once you've chosen somebody who looks interesting, reach out to them by a private message. So this is a little bit like when I'm out prospecting on the street, I stand outside of grocery stores. This is my favorite way to do it. I stand outside a grocery store with a stack of books, and as people come by, I ask them, would you like an Avon brochure? I'm just hitting up everybody who walks out of the store. But if you were on Facebook, you're not hitting up everybody on Facebook. You're hitting up people that you think might be interested or that you have something in common with them, right? So here's the script that Ray teaches. Hey, I know we don't know each other, but I see you're in Salt Lake City, right? Or that you love dogs, or that you're into Rachel Ray, right? I'm looking to expand into Salt Lake City. Would you be open to taking a look at what we do to make extra money on the side? If not, no big deal. So swap out that location with whatever you have in common. And obviously you're not going to expand into Rachel Ray, but you could say, I also love Rachel Ray. You know, I have a home business. Would you be interested in taking a look at what we do? Right. So you could say, hey, I see that you love scuba diving. We have that in common. I love scuba diving too. Just thought I would ask, would you be open to taking a look at what we do to make some money on the side? If not, no big deal. So this script covers all the bases. So when you're reaching out to somebody, what are they thinking about? What are they thinking? First thing is their sales radar goes up. Why is she reaching out? First one, why are you reaching out to me? You know, what is it that you want? And then the third one, do I know you? So, and then that's like the first things that's going through people's minds. I do the same thing, right? What is it you want? Why are you reaching out to me? Because I'm fairly successful with Avon, people automatically assume that if I would join their team, they would be rich. So I'm not kidding, 30 a day. And I get fed up with it. But I just, you know, and that's what you're thinking too, though. I mean, and same thing, if you reach out to somebody, that's what they're thinking. Why are you reaching out to me? What is it you want? And do I know you? Right? The script answers all three in the first message. So say you're a normal person and you're working a job in Salt Lake City and someone reaches out to you and says, I know we don't know each other, but I see that you're in Salt Lake City. I'm looking to expand in your city. Would you be open to taking a look at what we do to make some extra money on the side? If not, no big deal. That's not offensive, right? You weren't skanky about it. You weren't sneaky. You told me what it was, right? And so I might say no thanks, and we both go on our merry little ways. That's the end of it, you know? In fact, if they contacted me and I didn't know them, they started asking me questions and trying to build rapport, I would immediately be thinking, what is it I want? Right? I mean, for example, if someone reaches out to me and says, hey, Lynn, you have a beautiful family and we don't know each other, here's exactly what I'm thinking. So what do you want? Right? And I sometimes won't even respond at all. So if you do it the right way and you answer all those questions with this little script I gave you up here, you're going to get some no's. You're going to get a lot of no's because there are a lot of people that aren't interested, but you're not going to be offending people. right? In fact, the only person who might be offended, and this is funny actually, but is another network marketer or direct salesperson. But you shouldn't be targeting them anyway. I know Ray talks about that a lot. He says the reason why another network marketer or direct salesperson is offended is because for some reason we eat our own, and we're not very friendly to our own, and so they might be thinking, oh yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. You have to build rapport first. Well, this isn't what this is about. This isn't what we're about. And you shouldn't be targeting anybody anyway who's in a business. You know, they're just not your target audience. So if they say yes, this is where you might share a short recruiting video or tell them your story, right? What is it that your Avon business does for you? What is it that it does? Does it allow you to be home with your kids? Anitra, it allows her to give 25 hours of volunteer work to her kids' school, right? And be able to be home with her kids. Richard and I, it allowed us to quit our jobs. You know, we got debt free. Everybody has a story. Maybe your story might be that you were able to get braces on little Johnny. You didn't know how you were going to be able to pay for them, right? Or maybe it's you get to go to Disneyland every year. I don't know, but maybe it gives you something to stretch your mind other than just be with your kids all day. I know that there's a lot of women that are with their kids all day and they want an adult to talk to. And sometimes that's all it is. But whatever your story is, you share your story, right? And then if they're interested in learning more, give them your Avon online store link and have them click on Become a Representative. And that opens a great landing page that Avon has created that tells them all about selling Avon. So you could tell them that. You could say, if they say yes, they'd be interested in hearing about it, then say, go to my Avon online store. Here's the link. Click on Become a Representative, and that page will give you a lot of the information, right? Also, in the last Avon the virtual convention, they taught us how to create our own opportunity video. And so if you want to, you can create your own and have it ready for this. And you can find that in Avon U, or just go to YouTube and search for Sell Avon, and you might find a video that will work for you. Avon has a lot of videos. Some of them are pretty old, but there might be one that just clicks for you that you can use to give out to people. So search for Sell Avon on YouTube. So, but what if they say no? Right? Well, you're not going to get all yeses. That's not even possible. You're probably going to get more no's than yeses, a lot more. And the idea is work through that list of 100 no's, right? We've heard that. You want to see if you can get how many no's you can get before you get a yes. You're going to get a lot of no's. But, you know, if they say no, now you can work on building rapport if you want to, because they already know what you're after. So now you're not being sleazy, right? You could say, if they say something like no, then you can say something like, cool, well, how long have you lived in Salt Lake City? Or no worries, I love scuba diving too. How long have you been doing that? Right? And you were straightforward with them. And then sometimes, a lot of times after you build rapport, they might actually come back and say to you, hey, at one point you mentioned some kind of business to me. What was that? I didn't know you at the time. And I know you now, so I'd like to learn more. So, you know, you can build rapport if you want to at that point. Or if they're not interested in selling Avon, they might be interested in seeing a book. Right? The key is, though, that script that I gave you up here is just a great way to open the conversation. You know, hey, I know we don't know each other, but I see you're in Las Vegas, right? I'm looking to expand into Las Vegas. Would you be open to taking a look at what we do to make some extra money on the side? If not, no big deal. That if not, no big deal takes the pressure off. Then if they're not interested, you just said no big deal. So if they say no, you need to not let it hurt your feelings because it's no big deal. Okay. So, so let's look at some Facebook restrictions that you need to know. You're going to be sending messages to people that you don't know, and you're probably not friends with a lot of them. And so you need to understand that many of them won't even see your message, because if you send a message to somebody who you're not friends with on Facebook, it ends up in their message requests folder. And not everybody knows to look in there or looks in there, you know? So if you're not Facebook friends, then just know that if they don't respond to you, hey, if it makes you feel better, you can tell yourself they probably didn't see it. So it's not a rejection, okay? But I mean, it's not a rejection anyway. One way around that is you can send them the private message. And then if you're talking to them on, like in a group, like if you're in a Rachel Ray group or scuba diving group, then you can comment on one of their posts saying something like, hey, we're not friends, but I did send you a message if you have a second. Then they know to go look, right? Because by making them aware that you sent them the message, that increases the chances that they'll check and find it. So here's some, and this is really important that you need to know. Facebook Messenger has restrictions. Facebook has restrictions on how many messages you can send a day to people you don't know. This is true for the desktop version. If you're on the computer, this is true. If you start copying and pasting messages to a bunch of people, you'll end up in Facebook jail. So, but the way around that is use your phone app. Believe it or not, the Facebook Messenger on your phone doesn't have those restrictions. So it doesn't have those same requirements. So there's not a limit on the Messenger phone app. Now, I don't know how long that will be true, but it has been true for years that I know of already, okay? But there's a real fast limit when it comes to your computer, so be careful there. If you're sending messages from your computer, then you need to slow down. The key to keeping you out of Facebook trouble is to watch your speed, right? So if you're sending the same copy and paste message and you're sending 10 like in 2 minutes, you're probably going to end up in jail, in Facebook jail, right? So watch your speed. Also mix it up, especially if you're using the desktop version on your computer. Customize your message for the person that you're reaching out to so that you're not copying and pasting the same message, so that Facebook isn't seeing you put the same message for each time. So Anitra says, since my friend quit, Avon now, so her friend signed her up to sell Avon and then her friend quit. So Anitra doesn't have an upline now. So since my friend quit, Avon now gives me new friends, something to work hard at, even with my visual challenge. And I even have been able to say, I've even been able to start my other side of my business with, I'm going to start making crafts as well. Awesome. Awesome. Sandy says, that explains so much. I always use my phone, so I will continue. Yes. You guys, I must be old. I am not comfortable on my phone at all as far as copy. I can't type to save my life on my phone, and I'm just not comfortable. But hey, if it's working for you, do it. Do it. That's awesome. And then know that it's a numbers game, you guys. If you're doing this, it's a numbers game. Typically for this kind of prospecting, right, you need to find people and you need to message them. So set a goal as to how many people you'll reach out to every day. You know, also many people might not even respond to you. If so, it's not a big deal. That's why you're working the numbers. So if you're working this with our daily 8, you set a goal for yourself that you're going to message, let's just say 5 people a day. Or 10 people a day, whatever that is, whatever that number is, that doesn't give you 10 points. The points come from you getting their information, meaning the points come from them saying, yes, I would like more information, okay? The points from the daily 8 for prospecting are from the people that say yes. So maybe you sent out 10 messages and maybe 2 said that they would like to do it. Now you can still give yourself a point for doing the activity, but the prospecting points are for the people that say, yes, I want more information.
Yeah, and it's not always true, but most of the time you want to do things in small numbers because it's not spammy, but it's also controllable. And if you sent out 100 messages in one day and all 100 of them answered back, you'd be swamped trying to answer them legitimately. So,
I would never send 100 messages a day. Yeah. And if you're doing 10 messages a day, you guys, I take what I say with a grain of salt because I'm not Facebook. So Facebook does what Facebook does. They sure don't talk to me, okay? But the way I understand it, if you're on your phone and you send 10 messages over maybe, I don't know, an hour or something, half hour, not just slam, you'd be okay. If you were going to do it on your computer, I would spread it out over more time, like maybe some in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening. And then, like I said, mix it up so you're not saying the exact same text, okay? But reaching out to 10 people a day is pretty good. Or even if you set a goal to do 5, it's a numbers game. That's just one part of your business, right? That's one part of your prospecting. You don't have to do all of your prospecting that way, but it's a way for you to help bring in more people. And if you want to work 100% from home and you don't want to go out in the public, then this is how you're going to do it. Because just posting on Avon, buy my stuff, on Facebook, buy my stuff, check out this new product, isn't going to get you the business. You have to be active. You have to be, if you really want to build a business and you don't want to have to work outside of your home, you don't want to leave your house and you're just working from home or you're just working online, then you're going to need to be more active. rather than passive. This is a way to do it. And so you could take that script and you could say, you know, hey, I'm trying to build my business here. I'm new with Avon, whatever you want to say. You know, we have this cool digital brochure that you can literally browse with your phone. Would you be interested in seeing it? But don't ever give them a link, because that's spammy. That's assuming they want to see it, right? You don't ever send a link until they say it's okay to do so, because that's spammy. Anitra says, I've also learned copying and pasting is like writing a book report. If you just copy and paste or copy from a book, nothing is learned and you don't accomplish much. Exactly. That's true. Plus, back in school, if you copied and pasted from a book report, the teacher figured that out pretty fast.
Back in the old days, everybody had the same encyclopedia.
Yeah.
We didn't have Google.
Okay, so it is a numbers game. So set a goal for how many people you are going to reach out to, okay? And then keep in mind, many may not even respond to you. It's not a big deal. That's why you're working the numbers. Don't even worry about who's responding and who isn't. You just work with the ones who do respond. You just keep going. Just keep going and work with the ones who do respond. If they don't respond, you don't even have to follow up. You don't even have to say, hey, I texted you 3 days ago, because that becomes spammy too, right? They probably didn't respond because, well, either because they didn't see it, and they probably won't see it again if it's still in their message requests, or they didn't want to respond to you, right? So so you can also use this to gain customers, right? So this same approach it's primarily geared towards recruiting, but it's possible to use customers. So, you know, you can modify the script to say, hey, I know we don't know each other, but I see you're in Salt Lake City. I sell Avon. I'm looking to expand in your city. Would you be open to taking a look at our current brochure? We have a cool new brochure that you can browse right on your phone. If not, no big deal. Still answers those same questions. Why are you reaching out to me? What is it you want? And do I know you? Right? And then take it from there. If they don't respond, next, right? If they say no problem, thank you for responding, have a great day, or you can start to build rapport if that's what you want to do. That's totally up to you how you do that. If they want to see a brochure, get one to them and then add them to your system. That takes you to that page that talks about automating your follow-ups, automating your whole Avon business, okay? And if they say no, no big deal. You know, and then the summary, the more you do this, the easier it'll get and the better you'll get at it. Know up front that you're going to get a lot of no's. Your job is just to sift through who's interested and who's not. It's really just a sorting game. So the important thing is that you're doing the activity. That's the important thing. That's really, even in automating your follow-ups, that's the important thing, is you're doing the activity. If you do the activity, the results will come. Right? So set a goal for how many people you'll reach out to each day and stick to it. So Sandy says, are you asking this right when you friend them, or are these already friends? Actually, that's a great question, Sandy. I don't suggest you friend them. Okay? Because if you're actively prospecting, you're going to be reaching out to a lot of people that you don't know. And if you friend them, they're going to automatically, why is she friending me? And it's going to be spammy, right? I mean, I guess that's your choice if you want to do that or not. But you don't want to be friending a lot of people that if you have a lot of friend requests out there that aren't getting responded to, Facebook's not going to like that either. So I am saying I don't necessarily friend them. I just send them a message and I use that script. Now, if I'm in the group and I've been chatting with them, sometimes you... If you're in a Facebook group and you're a Rachel Ray fan, let's just say, for example, and you're chatting with people, over time you get to know these people. You start to feel like you're friends. And the next step for that is to become Facebook friends, right? That's just the next...
the progression.
Yeah, that's just the progression of how it goes. And hey, that's fine. And then, you know, but I wouldn't tie the asking them to do with friendship or not friendship. Facebook friends. I wouldn't tie it together, because even if you are talking with them on Facebook and then you say, hey, we have a lot in common, let's become friends, then you don't immediately hit them up with, hey, you want to buy from me, right? Or hey, would you like to see a brochure? So I would not tie it to the friends thing at all. there are some people that believe you should friend them first. And obviously, if you become friends first, they're more likely to see your message. But I really think if you start friending a lot of people, they're not going to respond. And you're going to have a lot of outstanding friend requests that Facebook's not going to like. So I hope that answered your question. So that's really all I have, you guys. That is prospecting on social media. And, you know, this is just one way to do it. It's just the active way to build your business on social media. Because if you really, and this is more geared to you people that want to build online, that want an online business, right? Because there's so many ways to prospect. You can go out, you can go shopping, you can talk to people in the stores, you can stand outside a store and talk to people, you can go to networking events and meet people, you can go to you can just get involved. You know, one of my friends, some of you may know him, Randy Gage. He's a good friend of mine, and he's a network marketing trainer. He's a multimillionaire, and he plays softball. He plays softball, and he prospects with his softball team. So he isn't there to prospect. He's there to play softball. But over the course of the time that he gets to know these people and they become friends, they look at his business, right? And so it's you literally, your whole world, your whole life is prospecting, or can be, but you're not always pushing the buy Avon or sell Avon. You're not always pushing that. Instead, you're building relationships with them. But if you're prospecting like with a goal, like a focus, I need to prospect. My goal is to get, I don't know, however many prospects I want. Then my goal is going to be to talk to 5 people today, or 10 people, or whatever your goal is. So that might be go to a grocery store and talk to 5 people, or it might be get on social media and talk to 5 people. So the idea is being active, right? And doing the activities. Rob, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oops, did that show up? So he says thank you. Rob, you are kicking it. You are doing a great job, and I can't wait to meet you. So anyway, so you guys, that's what I have. Do you have anything you want to ask?
No, nothing.
Okay, so next Sunday is the 4th of July, so we will be dark because I know you will all be out watching fireworks or whatever you're doing, picnics and barbecues.
Safely, I hope.
Safely, I hope. I know that my state is burning down at the moment, and they can't decide if they're going to ban them or not, ban fireworks or not, which is crazy because it's a tinderbox right now. Our state is just burning up. But anyway, I hope you have an amazing week and have a wonderful Independence Day weekend. And we will see you back here 2 weeks from tonight on July 11th. Same time, same place. So let me come back to us. Okay, there we go. We're back to us. And I think we answered all the questions. So you guys have an amazing evening. We'll see you online. Some of you will see you at upcoming meetings we have. And the rest of you will see in 2 weeks on this call. Anyway, bye-bye.
Happy selling, everyone.